This is our first topic. Do you see what I am looking at right now? This image, not the previous one. This image. Do you
Yes, I see
this?
the image. I
Now,
always love a good municipal construction topic, by the way.
exactly. Now, anyone who understands what's in this image will immediately be outraged. Probably not. You'll probably, if you understand what's going on in this image, you'll probably actually be slightly excited. What this is this is on the right side here. This is a massive pump, actually, and it's mounted on a frame. And on the left side of that big red pump, there is a series of pipes going into the ground. Now, a small background is necessary to understand this topic. This is like a dewatering operation that is going on. This is an advanced civil engineering construction technique, okay? And it makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of times when this particular technique needs to be employed. My issue with this picture is this is not one of them, okay? This is a bike path. A bike path, Don, okay? Advanced construction techniques that cost a lot of money when America is currently gone completely bankrupt. This is an outrage. This is a travesty. I could list right off the top. If you gave me like 15 seconds, I could list 15 topics of better things to spend money on than dewatering a bike path foundation. Okay?
All right. I have a few questions.
Send them.
Yeah,
I'm here
so
for the answers.
Could they build it without dewatering it? Is dewatering, as Claude would say, the load-bearing element of this? Like, could it happen without the dewatering? Is that even feasible?
Now, here's where I need to plead ignorance on this particular case, okay? Now, this is basically the history of this, is there is a thing in many areas of the world called groundwater, okay? Groundwater is an ever-present issue. Many times it's actually a benefit, right? That's where wells work. They pull out the groundwater. It's this wonderful thing we have on planet Earth that allows us to get water simply by digging a hole in the ground. Many of us have experienced this by going to the beach and digging a hole in the sand, and then there's like some water on the bottom of it. That's the ground table. Near a large body of water, it's like very high, okay? This is probably 500 meters from the Grand River, so it's like pretty high water table. And it's a low geography. So this is a roundabout way to say I'm not sure, because if they're doing this, it's necessary, right? Otherwise, you'd have to build a bridge. Otherwise, you'd have to do some other thing, because basically what they're doing is they can't build a foundation because the water will wreck the foundation. So probably no.
Well, I mean, people love elevated bike paths. It could have just done that, make like a little wood path or something. I see those all the time.
That probably would have been more expensive, honestly.
Oh, that would have been more expensive.
Probably.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, then how badly do the people need the bike path?
That's my point.
Is this a super zip? Is it financed with property taxes?
This is not a super zip. This is actually a medium zip at this particular location. I'm sure someone will like back calculate this with some kind of like Reddit style geolocation thing, which is a thing. We should do an episode on that. But no, I think what this is this is a forced project from some state funding through some kind of DNR bill, Department of Natural Resources or something like that, that is forcing us to spend money on building bike paths because of some kind of like fitness initiative or some kind of, honestly, I hate to do the whole climate change trope, but some kind of climate change trope about how if you build this thing, people will ride their bikes to work regardless of what month it is. Even if it's February and there's a foot of snow on this path, they're going to take their bike. So you have some kind of initiative to like make this bike path. I'm sure that's how this got funded.
I did know a guy who did that. He in Boston, my doctor would just put chains on his bike. He'd bike through the snow. They had a pretty robust bike path system. I mean, you could bike from I lived in Somerville. You could bike right into Boston on trails. You could kind of go to the different suburbs. Obviously, that's a lot denser than where this is. But I'm saying like maybe it would pay off, right? Maybe there will be a huge surge in bike commuters. Probably not, but But maybe it'll probably just be like one or two people walking their dog, but maybe not. I could be wrong.
Don, honestly, the first thing that came to my mind, do you want me to be honest with you? The first thing that came to my mind.
Please do.
Now, I know for a fact that you don't have children. I don't have children either, at least yet. What I was going to do was wager both your firstborn and my firstborn against the fact that this will increase biking traffic, because I am that confident to the effect that this will have zero blips on the biker community in the greater West Michigan area. It's not happening, man.
Maybe they just wanted to use the pump. You have a pump, you got to use it. Do you just want this? You want the pump to just sit in the pump shed gathering dust? That's no fun. These guys probably looked at this pump longingly every day, and they're like, "We need to use the pump, man.
Get that thing ripping. Just have it.
Use the pump,
burning off high-ray diesel. Just cranking the cycles to get that water out of there." This is the problem. Is I like this idea, like romantically. Like if I step back and I think about it, I'm like, I actually like this idea. I like to bike. I bicycle commuted for years. I literally bicycle commuted for approximately 7 years of my life. That was my primary modality of transportation from my home to my workplace. I pedally biked. It was beautiful. You know where else it was? You know what else was a common element? It was in the Bay Area of California. And you know what's a little bit different about that?
There's a little less snow, a little more sunshine.
A little less snow. There's a little less snow. There's a little more sunshine. There's a little less, I was going to say crazy people, but that's actually completely untrue. There's very much more crazy people.
Yeah.
But I meant crazy driver people, because there's at least an expectation in the Bay Area that there are bicycles all the time. That is not the case on this particular road. Not even close.
Right. I guess, we're just two guys on a podcast. Our audience may involve decision makers, but it's most likely not, the people that hold the purse strings, the state of Michigan. What's the call to action here? Like, what can we do?
Here's the call to action. Here's the call to action.
What do we do?
It's not even that, Don. You know what the real issue here is? Do you want me to tell you what the real issue is? This isn't even an isolated incident. Do you see this picture here?
I do. Yes.
This picture here is less than, I bet you it's 5 miles away. Okay. Now, again, I'm gonna make a little bit more of a technical observation here as I try to highlight something here. This right here is like a major scale excavation with a reinforced poured concrete retaining wall with big tiebacks going back into this thing here. And I know the picture doesn't show this, but there's a bike path here. Okay. Now this happened about a year ago, happened last summer. Okay. I'm noticing a theme here. Okay. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say to the audience here is this is one of many projects that we just can't afford anymore. I don't care how much the green people, I don't care how much the bicycle people, I don't care what's going on. We can't afford it anymore. I bet you this project, man, I don't know, but I'm guessing this thing cost at minimum $1 million. There were multiple large excavators, which usually retail out at $500, $800, $1,000 per day to rent. So integrate that over the entire summer, so a 4-month build period, plus the dudes who are out there. I'm sure there was a gal or two, but it was mostly dudes out there, which is typically the most expensive part, the labor of construction.
Do you
plus
not
all
want
the concrete?
Do you not want the GDP to go up? GDP is going up here, man. The GDP has to go up somehow. Someone has to do it. Brederick is degrowth over here. Meanwhile, the state of Michigan is doing the Lord's work, increasing the GDP.
I appreciate that. I think you bring up a concept there that I wasn't even going to get into in this section, but is very relevant. That is state-sponsored theft for projects that then they put there's. I'm sure there's somebody's name on a plaque next to this thing, some city council member or something like that, where they basically say I did this, I get credit for this. And basically what they did was they stole money from working class families who were trying to send their kid to summer camp. And instead of summer camp, they get this bullshit bike path where they can send their family past it. Oh, wait, the amount of houses within a mile of this particular path, because I know this path, I bet you the amount of houses within a mile of this thing is under 200 houses. I'm not joking.
Yeah,
It's less than 200 houses.
that makes
This
sense.
is not,
This is just like a recreational. It is not serious transportation infrastructure. It's
No.
just purely recreational
correct.
status thing.
Now this, unlike the other one, is a so-called super zip. So
Mhm.
I will concede that there's some wealthy folks here. The tallest house that I know of, is very close to this house, this path here, probably like 400 meters. It is a very, very tall house. It's not a big house, but it has a
What,
very
like it has a
unique-
tower, like a chateau with like a tower.
It has a very unique structure. I have never seen a house like this. I call it the skyscraper house. It looks like it looks like a tower, but it's a house.
That's kind
It's
of cool,
incredible.
I guess. I mean, the person who lives there, I mean, the person who built this probably lives there. You know, if
do.
you were, think about like when I lived in Luxembourg, what's his name? The Grand Duke. The Grand Duke loved construction. You could tell. That was probably the Grand Duke's big thing for hundreds of years. Like every Grand Duke builds a new structure. So they build
Yes.
a big suspension bridge. They build a new castle. You know, I mean, this is just the guy in the tower wants to build stuff. Nothing changes, man. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's just the way it is.
You know, I'm going to take a brief aside here. And the reason I know about this path is at least the fine people of this particular community had the common sense to build a park in this area. There's actually a couple parks in this particular area that are both beautiful. And I used to run at this path all the time. The reason I know about the skyscraper house, so I call it the skyscraper house because it's like, I bet you it's like 5 or 6 stories tall. And it is a square house. It is a square house, but it is like 5 or 6 stories tall. It's completely wild. I used to run out here all the time. And I was running there one time, actually, and I saw a dude on the street in front of the house raking.
I thought
And
you
I
were going to say
stopped.
with like a European assault rifle and a suit, but sorry, rakes. Yeah, go ahead.
That would have been a little more a throwback to Transporter 3. That would have made sense.
Yeah, I've corrupted my brain. That's all I can
That's
think about.
okay.
But
I
yeah, he was
think-
raking. He was just
honestly, though-
maintaining his own tower house lawn.
I'm not sure though, man. I think most able-bodied men, at least in the United States, dream of running across a man with a suit and an assault rifle at one point in their lives, just out in the wild. And then they know deep down in their psyche that, like, actually, if something went wrong, they could take him.
Yeah, but most probably couldn't. I don't think I've ran into people in suits and people with assault rifles, but they've never been the same. I don't even
That's
think
a good point.
think every time I've seen the Secret Service, they've just had sidearms. You know, do these people even exist? Like, are there even people wearing suits carrying around like a G6 or whatever? They probably just aren't even real. The only place I could think of would be a place like a tower house. Like, you have to go find a Bond villain house where this guy on the top of the, he probably invites everyone that helped build this, all of the city officials that helped build this path, his personal path. They all go to the top, the pool at the top, and they all do, I don't know. Can you say cocaine on YouTube? Cocaine?
I think you can. Can.
You can? Okay. Yeah, well, they
I
probably
don't
go up
know.
there and, do cocaine and laugh. And, they have the guards with the guns.
Well, if you can say cocaine, I'm sure you can say, and I think I'll just use this euphemism, women of the night, because they're definitely going to be there too, right? I mean, that's a thing.
Yeah. No, that's very plausible. Well, I don't really know what else to tell you about this. I'm really sorry that taxpayer funds have been used in a way that is suboptimal, but I have bad news for you. That is a reoccurring story. I don't know if you're going to get much of a break from that because it increases in magnitude, especially on our next topic. I can tell you that.
So I want to get to our last topic, but I just want to say one final. Can I get one final word?
Yes, please. Please do.
Thank you, Don. I guess what I'm just trying to say is one of the themes on this podcast that you and I have discussed before is just trying to provide alternative viewpoints to many of the kind of mainstream dichotomies that we find ourselves in. My point in bringing this topic up is to just say, hey, next time you see a bike path like this where they're dewatering next to the river or they put in $1 million wall, just say, what else could we have done with that money? How many young kids could we send to college instead of this bike path to nowhere? How many new school buildings could we build? How many college scholarships could we get in there? How many, name your famous pet project. That's all I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah, you do something that
end this.
Should be hard to argue against. Be like, oh, what's wrong with bike paths? But you always have to think about the opportunity cost.
Thank you.
What are we trading off here? Yeah, and
I couldn't
price.
have said it better myself, Don.
Yeah, the price is too high. The price is not right for the bike path.
The price is not right. The price is wrong.
The price is not right. The price is wrong. That's what you have to go to the city council meeting and just come in with all of the Price is Right tropes and see how long it takes before they kick you out.
You're 100% right, Don, but the reason I can't go to city council meetings is because I'll just be arrested. They're not even going to kick me out. Do not pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to jail. That's the way it is with me. They spot me coming.
Yeah. And while you're at it, give his eyeball a good scan. He loves eyeball scans. Drag him away. Oh, bummer, dude. Well, do they have like an equivalent for city council meetings for Congress? Did they ever have a time when members of the public could just go to Congress and get up there and be like, here's how I feel about this? Has that ever happened?
I don't believe there is an equivalent thing, and that's the whole concept of representative democracy. But I do know that many states, Michigan being one of them, there is a public viewing area within the congressional hall, and you are welcome to go in. Now, there's a line and there's a whole process now, and it's often like boggled up by press people, but it is open to the public.
But you can't make noise and agitate
you're not allowed to advocate like that at the state level. I do not believe. No.
I went to the Texas state capitol, and inside of the rotunda there was a guy who was so sorry. He was advocating hard. He was trying to convince people that Black Lives Matter did not intersect with gay pride. It was a very niche topic, and he was arguing it very passionately, and no one was interrupting him. They were simply tooling around.
Can I make two comments on that, Don?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I make two comments on that?
Yes, please.
One comment is the state buildings typically tend to be public buildings. Between business hours, you are allowed to just walk in them. And I believe the state rotunda actually is a so-called like free First Amendment zone where you are allowed to do that, actually. That is not what I was referring to. I was referring to the actual chamber where the legislature meets.
I've been to the viewing area as well, and no one was heckling. Yeah. I thought about doing it, but I didn't.
No, I don't think you can heckle in there, and I think actually that will get you escorted out, legally escorted out, because you can't disrupt. Do you know what I mean?
You got to go to the rotunda now, man. You got to go to the rotunda and tell them all about these bike paths.
I appreciate that, and I think that's kind of that's one of the benefits of our form of government that actually still has a lot of weight, is like the idea to protest things. I think that's unfortunately been undermined with a lot of the more recent movements where people confuse protesting with violence. I don't want to get into that right now, but I think there actually is a rich tradition of actually still protesting.